Thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving us the time today. You are the president, Mr. CK Satyapriya. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. You are the president of CTL Engineering and chairman of the ACEC Ohio State Chapter. You also belong to the BIM and Architecture, Engineering, and Construction groups on LinkedIn. CTL Engineering was established in 1927, known for its testing laboratory. You built a solid reputation when it comes to soils, foundation engineering, and rigorous construction testing and inspection specialties that you have. You are a professional engineer in many states of the US. You specialize in geotechnical engineering services in various parts of the country and also internationally. You also have conducted forensic engineering on different buildings and land development projects. And obviously, under your leadership, you focused on embracing technology such as BIM. That's just a short brief of your background. Very, very interesting background. Thank you again for joining us today and giving us the time to talk to us. Can you tell us a bit about your journey in the AEC industry so far?
Well, it started quite a while back, so I guess it can be a long history. But the most importantly is the fact that I joined CTL Engineering after I started my PhD program at Ohio State and working for another company. I joined them as with the assurance that if I performed well, I would become a partner. And back in '79, and then became a partner in '81. And we ended up with only 2 partners till about 1980, till 1999. But during that time, we continued to grow the company as a whole. We added other offices. But my partner, and in 1990, we were profit rich and cash poor, like most engineering companies. We had a lot of accounts receivable. So to manage the tax burden, I encouraged my partner to start an ESOP in the company. Mm-hmm. So we had a minority ESOP established in 1990 and 1991, but he was not very enthused about the ESOP world. And so using the ESOP as a vehicle, we purchased him out so that we would be in control of our own destiny. And from there, we have grown to include about 11 offices in the US, providing a variety of engineering services, and a couple of offices in India, providing engineering services as well as IT support for the US facility, including cybersecurity support.
Perfect. And just for some of the users who don't know what's an ESOP or the concept itself, can you explain a little bit more on that concept?
ESOP was originally started off by Senator Long in the 70s, but didn't take really much effect till the mid to late 80s. Where ESOP I call it a shared capitalism, where the employees don't they contribute their sweat equity, but they don't financially contribute. They are issued shares based upon the performance of the organization, so they benefit from it. So it is probably one of the most capitalistic, but also it encourages companies to give back to the employees. One of the advantages of ESOP is the fact that, as I said before, employees do not contribute to it. However, the company benefits from the fact that we do not pay any taxes on the income, as well as the principal you borrow. And the selling shareholder also benefits by the fact that they can defer taxes for a while.
Is that a common practice in the engineering companies world?
It is becoming more common due since the fact there is a silver tsunami occurring. Sorry, silver tsunami occurring, meaning many of us are in the throes of being retiring. Therefore, there is a more companies looking to sell, but many employees and or partners are not financially viable to are hesitant to borrow money to purchase a company. So this is one way for the selling shareholder to sell the shares to the employees by borrowing the money from a bank or another source of money.
A very interesting concept. Is it still going till today?
Yes, it is. Actually, there are 6,500 companies in the country who are ESOPs.
Wow.
Approximately, maybe a little higher, but there are fairly significant companies who are ESOPs. Example, Procter & Gamble has an ESOP. Southwest Airlines is an ESOP.
You know, what brought you into this industry in the first place? Why did you choose to become an engineer?
Why did I become it? Oh, wow. It was almost a given I was going to be an engineer because my father was a contractor who built buildings. My brother was an engineer. My brothers-in-law were engineers. And every one of my cousins, many of my cousins were all engineers. So it was almost like I didn't have much of a choice, I guess. But I did like the fact. And my job opportunities were pretty secure since my father would be able to hire me.
And were they all in the same field like you are?
No, my brother and my father were in the civil engineering field. Correct.
Correct. All right. Could you share some of your passion actually with the AEC industry? Like what are you passionate about? What really, when you wake up in the morning thinking that you're gonna, gonna hit it today?
Passion is engineering and trying to help engineers be recognized for the contribution we make to the world. In fact, many people don't realize how important we are, and there is a certain amount of. If you ask somebody what's an engineer, they think about a person who drives the train or something like that. They don't understand, particularly civil engineering. I even talked to some students, high school students, and they wonder what a civil engineer does. My passion is to support the engineering field and also more focus upon qualification-based selection rather than price-based selection of engineers.
What is the percentage today? That's a really, really interesting point you brought over here. So if you look at the field today, what is the percentage of favoring price on top of the selection criteria versus the quality of the delivery?
There are certain states which have laws that require you to use qualifications, but it's only applied to the public agencies. You cannot apply it to private companies. And there is a misconception that engineers, it's a commodity, that any engineer can do the same thing. They don't look at the creative aspects of engineering. There is an assumption that an architect is a creative person, but not engineers. I think that myth needs to be eliminated. Engineering, it has a lot of creativity required depending upon the situation.
Who gets to decide at the end of the day? Is it the owner, the developer, or no, it's pretty much how the project or what is the scope of the project is at?
It's usually unfortunately, decided by the architect and or the one who first gets to contact the person who's the owner or whoever is the financier of the project. If an engineer gets to be in the lead, okay, there's a big misnomer. They call it design build.
Correct.
It's more of a build design. The builder controls the project and they dictate how much the engineer will be paid and how much time or how much effort the engineer will have to put in. But the liability still remains with the engineer, and that is the dichotomy we all face.
So it used to be called design, bid, build. Right now it
generally, majority of the projects were all design, bid, build. Correct. Wherein the design was done based upon either selected by the owner and or the authority, which is getting the design done. And many times those were based upon qualification-based selection. And sometimes it would be based upon price. Particularly like transportation area, it is mostly qualification-based selection. If it is based upon, if it's buildings, many of them are privately owned, so they tend to be more cost-based selection.
You hold a Master's of Science in Geotechnical Engineering and another Master's of Engineering in Soil Mechanics and Foundation Engineering. And I heard you speaking about your PhD as well. Did you actually acquire a PhD?
I did not finish the thesis. I finished all the requirements, and my advisor and I didn't see eye to eye. It's what is known as all but thesis, right?
And is it something that you regret? Are you confident about? How do you when you kind of reflect back on it? So.
Yeah, I do regret the fact that I didn't complete it, but I'm confident it didn't affect my performance. But my mother was not happy at all. The fact that I did not get the three letters and be next to me.
Next to your name. Yep. But you had to live with it, I guess.
Yes,
so between geotechnical engineering and soil mechanics and foundation engineering, where do you see yourself best fit or more passionate?
It is really the same. It's just how it was originally when Terzaghi, back in the early 90s, he coined it as soils and foundation engineering. But geotechnical engineering encompasses more than soils and foundation engineering. It encompasses rocks, rock mechanics, and all of the other subsurface conditions included. So it has changed its name to geotechnical engineering. However, my second master's was more an ocean floor related engineering.
And have your academic pursuits influenced your professional journey or career afterwards? Do you think that they shaped up where you want to focus more, or?
Actually, you know what? That's one thing every engineer needs to have, and thankfully I do, have to continue to learn.
Till today.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, just today, I was doing some research because of a forensic project. I had to determine what was the reasons, and I did some research, and I had to learn some things.
Do you still feel like you want to pursue more academic accolades in the future, or?
I don't necessarily seek degrees or acclamation, but I want to learn, I don't want to lose my what do you call it, inquisitiveness.
Mm-hmm. Are you an inquisitive person?
Very.
Very inquisitive.
In fact, to the dismay of my wife, I do nose around it too much.
And is that across everything you come across, or no, it's just certain topics?
Almost everything. I want to understand whatever I get involved, I analyze and look into it rather than just accept it.
And does that help at home and with family matters, or it doesn't?
There is some things I have to learn still, even there.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking because I'm also an inquisitive person by nature, and it could come in the way sometimes. It's just a little bit too much. So.
I appreciate where you're coming from.
Yeah, I see that you also speak numerous languages. Has your multilingualism played a role in your work, particularly in international projects or within diverse teams?
I don't know if it specifically has helped in the business, but my acceptance of diversity is, in my opinion, better because of my willingness to accept the fact that there are people with different languages and different cultures.
And is CTL a diverse entity? Do you embrace diversity at CTL? Do you have policies for it, or?
Yeah, we do. However, unfortunately, in the engineering industry, there are certain ethnic as well, not ethnic, there's certain races as well as lack of females in the engineering industry.
Till today?
Yeah, absolutely. It's improving, no dispute, but there is a lack of Black or African Americans as well as Hispanics in the engineering industry, as well as females.
And has this been heading in the right direction in terms of having more and more of these groups, or still?
No, actually, overall, in fact, the number of available candidates has not kept up with the demand.
Is there a shortage right now when it comes to engineers?
Oh, yes.
From a demand?
About a year and a half back, I heard American Council of ACEC said that the unemployment rate of the engineering industry is 1.6%. That, in my opinion, is non-existent.
Wow. That's
right
probably
now, because of all the investments which are coming online, there is a significant dearth of talent.
You know, this has been consistent with every interview that I had with any individual, established individual in this industry, that there is really a scarcity and shortage when it comes to skills, and there don't seem to be a short-term, I wouldn't say vision, but at least a tangible plan of how we're going to overcome this challenge.